if you do not want to miss the best moments that come out of these raw, completely unplanned conversations that I have with these very interesting people, then make sure you subscribe to this channel, PGX Clips, and press the bell icon top so that you know the next time we post. What are the current challenges, or where are you at currently? What are the challenges you're facing, and how does the future look like?
I mean, there's always so many challenges. I think we're more excited than ever to try and solve this problem. Yes, there is a certain US presidency. Climate is not going to be a concern, but it's a civilization issue. And I think if you can build a large enough business case, it's worth. So we have that angle playing for us right now. Then, second angle is because we moved from US to India, and while we're still global company, a lot of our customers, manufacturing team is mostly in India. So we often get pictured as an India company, and then the comfort for global investors to put in is a little lower because there are also regulatory challenges. They don't get exits faster, all of those things. So we still are, that's one thing that I'm actively working. And it's not like that big of it. I'm just saying what last 24 hours have been for
This is your diary moment.
for me. So I think so that small things. Then very excited to be rehiring in the Valley and also scaling India team. We doubled our commercial production capacity in this month. So excited. It's very you enter office and you see 2 times the number of devices in front of you. It's unreal, the view. Incredibly excited to scale carbon capture this year because we built it. It's real. It works. Now it's
But that's going to be a public-private partnership.
No, it's Pran will build the large facilities that removes the carbon and then issues the credit to companies around the world.
So the companies can buy the credit from you.
Yes. But this
That's
is not a trading, right? We're actually removing the CO2. I can either give it to you or pump it underground.
Right.
And that's removed from the atmosphere.
Right. So there is, it's not like a car company that's reduced carbon emission and selling carbon tax
it's
that
not
way.
that.
No.
It's actually reversing global warming. I'm pulling it out of the Earth's atmosphere and then pumping it underground, reversing as fossil fuel, basically.
Bro, I'm still very interested because एक तो pollution हो गया, and pollution's you can say greatly amplified problem in India, but climate change is a global problem with global entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Why has somebody not built an analog to carbon capture?
There are so many.
there are.
We have competitors.
Oh, you've competitors.
And in fact, we are later than others.
Okay.
It's just for us, we prioritized air pollution because no one was going after it. No one built a Tesla for clean air. We were trying to do that. But our vision statement has been the same since 2017, rebuilding Earth's atmosphere. Air pollution comes under lower atmosphere where people are walking and breathing. Upper atmosphere is your planet, right? Which is how do you control global warming? That's by removing greenhouse gases. The most abundant one is CO2.
Okay. And on the level of Mark II being installed in cities and whatever, is there a challenge there?
Cities, we're not selling it because it's an infinite volume problem. So Mark II, for example, recently Indian Navy reached out to us for a specific site in India where there are food stores.
We can't name that site.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can, so I'd rather not. So now for those food stores, what happens is because the grain volumes are so high, there's a lot of dust, becomes very difficult to deal with. There are pests. If you can remove that immediately with a filterless purifier, there's no recurring cost. That's an application. We put it in different factories, food, chemical, pharma, minerals, mining, all of these guys, right, on their shop floors. We have devices going into homes, offices, schools, gyms, right, for just the Hive product. And then we've built all this sensor platform, which we're kind of doing in parallel with governmental organizations that let me put on every other street lamp. And not only will we give you all the air quality data, that's the smallest, most trivial thing, but the fact that we'll be able to create an automated solution street by street for air quality, whether it's a purifier or whether it's increased this wall by 10 feet more, all of this is happening using our computer vision tool, right? So I want to sell or offer that tool to India rather than just a purifier that let us solve the problem, use this data, create the most dense health data set on the planet for the urban environment. Satellites don't give you that resolution that you want for particulate matter, etc.
Of course. Damn. How long have we been at it? Igmit, how long do you think we've been talking?
2 hours?
2 hours? 150.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions or suggestions for me?
I'm just curious, what made you want to do this, man? You interviewed the chief minister of Delhi and asked him about air pollution. Why talk to... And that too, I remember the message you sent me.
Chief Minister.
Yeah, ex-chief minister.
Right.
Yeah. And I remember your message, and it was perhaps me living under a rock when you texted me saying, "Hey, I'm Prakhar," and Varun referred you to me. I was like, "Hi, Prakhar," because it had no context, right?
Dude, it's so weird, because you can do the opposite mistake of over introducing yourself, and the other person's like, I know who you are, bro. Like, right? So I always do, hey, I'm Prakhar, do you know who I am, or should I introduce myself? And it's a very polite question. I'm not saying, Tere ko bataun kya main kaun hu. That's not what I'm saying. What made me want to do this is, I mean, the conversation speaks for itself, bro. I cannot, look, maybe there's a world of you. Maybe there's 20 people like you that you know of, like those guys doing rockets and whatever. I don't know them. I want to platform people like that. That's one, let's say, one part of my mission. I think putting attention on you is a lot better than all the other opportunities I get in that way. Two, when in the am I going to get access to learn about deep tech? I mean, we didn't go there precisely, but the technology, the business, the venture dynamics, the climate dynamics of all of this in 2 hours. I think it makes for a very interesting conversation. And the difference between the conversation I'm having right now versus something I would have had with somebody who's not as invested in this as you are, is I could have learned what particles exist in air. I could have learned the sources of those particles, and then what are the active efforts to solve it. And it would have been, you studied in India, right? There a school India mein tha,
Yeah.
right? You remember when we'd write paragraphs or essays for whatever, it was a word vomit कि भाई अब ये इतने line का है, 7 marks का question है तो 1 page लिखना पड़ेगा. There is a conversation I can have that looks like that कि मेरे को 1 घंटा भरना है या 1.5 घंटा भरना है तो उससे ऐसे questions पूछ लो जो mass appeal के हैं. I would never get this information for somebody who's thought so deeply. The fact that you are young is ornamental, bro. Even if you're a 50-year-old, it's still very impressive, all the stuff that you know and you've thought of. So I was betting on this as an experiment, and I think this experiment's working. I got to learn a lot. I think just watching you from a distance in the future is going to be very interesting. Very few entrepreneurs like you. I know enough in Bangalore and in Gurgaon. Very few guys like you. The rate of innovation that happens in India is largely either marginal or an imported innovation, which is like, this thing works in the US, just bring it in India, Indianize it. Very rarely do we see somebody attempting something that's not even being attempted in any other part of the world.
US guys are talking to us for, and I say this with like utmost humility, so that people don't feel limited by geography, by capital. I think you should just care very, very deeply if you want to build a company. There's faster ways to make money. I could have made, company would be 100 times the value if I started, a software company, perhaps at the time like some of my friends did. But I don't think I would be as invested in building those businesses or caring about them. I have a very dear friend who was a problem solver, met him at Google Science Fair. He used to solve very difficult problems. Eventually went to Ivy League school, realized, hey, money is the language that people speak, started a fintech company, crazy valuations, grew very quickly. But I think that's a loss to civilization if a person of that talent stops solving real problems and starts building fintech apps. And I've told him on the face because I'm close enough to be able to tell him that. But so I hope more people don't feel limited by geography too.
Are there other deep problems that you cannot solve because of your commitment that you think are open game for people?
Water, food.
Water and food.
Critical. Energy. How do we revamp the grid? Not lithium-ion batteries and solar energy, etc. How do you fix the grid? So if every car on the street goes electric, you won't have energy. I saw a diesel generator outside for this.
Yeah, for this. Yeah. And it's not even working properly.
Right.
Idiots, huh?
Right. But how do you fix the grid? If every car had to become electric or large number, a grid can't support it.
That's fucking brilliant, man.
You can't dig all the wires and change all those. What do we do?
It's so obvious.
Right.
And the impact surface area is so high if you fix the grid. But that's a public-private partnership. That's hard to implement.
Yeah, there's nuclear energy. If I could invest or if I were to build another company, I'd start a nuclear company today. I don't have bandwidth to do it, but yeah, if someone's building it, if I can be of any help, by all means. But nuclear energy is huge. I think more than solar, wind, that's what will help control climate change in near term.
Yeah, I think the solar and the wind, I don't know if we've learned how to do it affordably or even manage the electricity we produce from it. Right? There's a lot of loss.
Efficiency is very low
Yes.
for solar, and by all means, I'm proponent of renewable energy. But
Right.
I think just the land cost, the scaling cost, maintenance, most of the panels sold in India are from China. That to second-hand panels, which are used and resold here. That's how the cost is so low. So it's almost dumping, right? And with windmills, the challenge is very expensive to maintain. People don't like how it looks, so they don't want it around their neighborhood. Then it's if you go with the really nice ones which change direction, then the cost is astronomical to actually.
And you
put.
also need a specific geography for that wind to
Yeah,
blow,
yeah.
right? So it's very limited space.
Yeah.
And I think I agree that nuclear is probably the way it seems like the most obvious thing, but there's a large risk that comes around it, right?
Yeah.
And then there's intergovernmental pressures for researching in nuclear that also occur. Because from what I understand, nuclear energy and nuclear bombs are not very distant from each other in the method of creation. You can do it in the same facility, and that becomes a concern, no?
I mean, so I don't think it's exactly the same grade that's getting utilized for energy versus. I mean, there's
Weaponry.
also variants of it, but one. I mean, yes, can a nuclear power plant become dangerous? Yes. I mean, but it's a solved problem, right? So whether it's like so, I think there was a famous video that came out in 2016 or 2017 that got all of us inspired called India is Innovating. Somebody made that video and said we have the largest thorium reserves in the world and we should use that to build nuclear energy and missiles and stuff. I don't know where that went. Because uranium we may be importing, but thorium we have abundantly locally. So what are we doing? I don't know. So I'm not right to ask what are we doing, but just like, hey, how come those plants are not everywhere?
Right. I actually heard this from, in context of India, from Peter Thiel, actually. He was talking about it. He said, the worry about spreading nuclear energy was the unique case study is what happened in India. They built the bomb.
Yeah.
And that worried the US government a lot. He was talking about the conspiratorial sort of part of it. Guys, trust me, I cannot give you the beauty of this conversation in just this one clip. If you like this clip, then you have to go to our main channel and subscribe to it and press the bell icon because we post some amazing conversations for you on that channel.